Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Welcome to another episode of Writing in Cars with Books. I'm Jaclyn.
And I'm Phillip.
And today we're going to be discussing Karmen by the GUILLEM MARCH.
Woohoo!
This is one of Phillip's favorites, so he reread it for this video. And I did not, so this is going to be the Phillip show today.
It is one of my favorite books.
I read it.
It is unbelievably
It's
great.
been a while.
That's all you need to know. It's unbelievably great.
So, Karmen is not the main character. No, kind of.
She kind of is.
So,
She's trying to upend.
she's an
heaven.
angel.
Right.
She's like the angel of death.
Correct.
And she walks around in this suit of...
She is an angel of death. There are multiple angels of death.
So she walks around in this black suit with pink bones on it.
Or it's just her body.
Or she's just naked. But... So, Karmen and the young woman Catalina... Let's see, how do I phrase this?
Just read it, like you always do.
An angel named Karmen and the young woman she takes under her wing when heartbreak strikes too hard. Packed with intriguing twists and metaphysical musings, this gorgeously drawn series brings tenderness, heart, and humor to the delicate and difficult matters of life and death that we all face. So it tells you absolutely nothing
Correct.
about this book.
It is about suicide, though.
Yeah, content warning, everything. Like,
I mean, the
graphic suicide.
So Karmen is basically the main angel. Catalina is the main female who attempts suicide at the beginning. And Karmen is the angel that it was selected to go pick up her spirit, soul, whatever you want to look at, and take it to the afterlife. But before she takes her to the waiting place, however you want to put it, she basically takes her on a journey and like, hey, now you're kind of free. You can fly, you can look over people, you can do kind of whatever you want for a while. And
do you still want to be dead?
Do you still, like, are you? And Catalina doesn't really understand. She thinks she's dreaming initially, so she doesn't quite understand what's going on. But she doesn't fully remember that she attempted suicide. And this is basically the journey of the angel and taking Catalina to the next phase of her life after that.
So it's really graphic. So you see Catalina sitting, she's sitting on the toilet with blood coming out of her arms, but really she's laying in the bathtub dying, and her angel's sitting on the toilet.
So there's nudity in the book.
And Karmen's talking to her.
Oh, by the way, this is a mature book that we're doing this week.
Oh, yes. So she's naked in the bathtub when she tries to commit suicide, so she's naked the whole book.
Correct.
You see everything, even her suntan line.
So the afterlife piece in this book is, and people always question it, the way March did it in here is, hey, whatever you're wearing when you die is kind of what you're wearing on your way to the afterlife.
Yeah, so they always tell you make sure your underwear is clean in case the EMS have to treat you. Yeah. It's for reals.
And there's a lot of flashbacks in here to where she got to the point of committing suicide, right?
Yeah, so like her talking to her boyfriend.
Yeah, like this was her childhood friend, and she's always feeling betrayed, and like she's not really outgoing, but she kind of is. It's the character dynamics in this from that in the flashbacks are pretty interesting. There's great pieces in here about how people are misunderstood. Like you always think like the crazy cat lady, you always think what's going on and all that stuff. And you have no idea what's going on with this lady because no one ever takes the time to figure out what's going on with people. They just take the time to make up a story, which is fun, by the way. Not saying it's not.
We do that.
We do that. We all do it. But at the same time, you need to figure out what is really going on with people and if you can help, right? And that's kind of where this journey is. But
what is your favorite part about it?
About the book?
Yeah.
It's the journey, I think. It's the journey that... So Karmen is an angel who is obviously not the most liked angel, because she has this thing in her mind that she can change the dynamics of the way the world works and how people die, and then how people are treated after they die, right? In the sense of, oh, you just didn't die, you go on. She has a belief, because they forget, right? Like in this, like Catalina doesn't remember that she committed suicide on this journey. And then there's other pieces where Carmen's like, oh, I'll be right back, I gotta go to do something. And then she's sitting next to a guy on an airplane, and the guy on the airplane's complaining about why does the plane have to turn around just because someone's having a medical emergency. We were already 2 hours late.
It's him having the medical
And it was him having the medical emergency, and he went into cardiac arrest and died. But he doesn't know that.
There's a lot of death in this book.
Yeah.
Like someone jumps from a building.
Well, I mean, it is about...
It's about death, but it's about death. More than that.
But it's about death, but it's about what you can do in life to make all of that better, right? And it is truly that journey that Karmen is looking for, to like let these people remember that even in death, life was really worth living. And should they have been so miserable, and were they looking at life the wrong way, is kind of where this book goes. And I kind of love books like this. Like, once again, it's way different than Midnight Nation, which is my favorite book of all time, but it's that journey of the soul, right? And that's really what this is. It's the journey of Catalina's soul, from the time that she attempts suicide at the beginning to where Karmen, Angel of Death, once again, shows up and starts taking her through her paces and basically asks her questions like, you know, like Catalina I'm just kind of tired of this place. And she's like, tired of your apartment or tired of life? And then it's a different conversation on the way to that, which is really cool.
People care to ask those questions.
Correct. Right.
And so when Catalina's going through her journey and she encounters other people and they touch her, she has like visions of their memories. Correct. And some of the things she sees are not very good.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's, once again, she's there, and she runs into, there's parts where she runs into the guy that she loves, which is her childhood friend, that once again, communication, right? She thinks that's cheating on her. And he may be, I'm not spoiling stuff here. Just, we'll let you figure it out when you read it. Yeah. But it's the thought process that sends people spiraling versus what is actually reality, right? It's the things that we make up in our life that we just assume is true, instead of going, hey, I have a question for you. Yeah. And instead, it's just no communication. So that's a big part of all this.
Here's some of the interior art. This is Karmen and her boss, who her suit is her intestines and other internal organs are on the outside.
Right.
Very interesting. Yeah. GUILLEM March's art style is very...
I love his art style. And in this book, it is as perfect as it can be. His writing, he's done a lot of stuff. He's done a lot of covers, like for DC and stuff, and he's written other stuff. I'm not so sure that a creator's work has come together as well as this book. With his art style and his writing style, it is almost a perfect book to me.
I want to show more pages, but I don't really want to show the nudity, and it's like everywhere.
Just show it. Just pick a good page and show it, like show the art. Maybe, yeah.
All the bodies flying. It's so good. He is Spanish, by the way, so this is translated.
And I did get...
Look at that cover, oh my god.
That's Manera.
Yeah.
Manera's going to draw something beautiful regardless.
He loves naked women.
Well, I mean, he just can draw.
I know.
But I think I don't think I've actually gotten anyone to read this book that they didn't enjoy it. Because I got you to read it. You enjoy it. I got Tess to read it, and she loved it, which the story part of it is wonderful. But it is a mature book because of the themes.
The themes and nudity.
Well, once again, if anyone knows me, nudity is not a mature thing. Nudity is just something that we are.
Yes, I know, but
So nudity is something we are, but
disclaimer.
the themes in this book are very mature, right?
Mm.
And so, in a sense, that to truly understand what March is getting at in this story and his art, it's a big part of it, right?
I can tell you love this book.
The book is great. The book is really should be read by pretty much everyone if you want to get a handle on what we, as any people, may be lacking in life. Which is a lot of it is just empathy, right? It's empathy and wanting to understand people. Like I'm going to go back to it earlier. There's little parts in this, like Catalina's like, well, there's the crazy cat lady when she's talking to Carmen, and Carmen's like, well, what do you know of her? Well, she has like 32 cats, and Carmen's like, she has 3 cats, and they were her daughters who was killed in a car accident last year, and she's just lonely. But like, none of you will take the time to go actually have a conversation with her.
Mm-hmm.
And then Catalina was like, well, now I feel awful, but she can't do anything about it now because she decided suicide was her way out, right? So it's things like that are, I think, is handled very well in the book. It's just not the dynamic in that. It's those 3 panel pages that talk about that conversation that's very poignant in this book.
Very, very good. Very good.
So you remember anything?
I don't
You
know.
just let me ramble for the last
You are good at
11
rambling.
minutes.
I don't know what else to add to
No
the
one's here to
conversation.
listen to me ramble. They're all here to listen to you ramble.
I don't really have anything to add to the conversation. It's a very beautiful.
It is.
Very beautiful book.
Yep. And who's it published by? Image, right?
Image.
So.
For mature audiences.
Yes. So please go out, find you a copy.
Karmen by GUILLEM MARCH.
At your local comic shop.
It's very good, very good. Highly recommend.
It's excellent.
It's shiny.
It's shiny in you.
Okay, that is all.
Bye,
Thanks for
everyone.
watching. See you next time.
Bye.
Bye.